Hey, it's your girl Tiana from All Star Battle and BGC11. I'm about to do my super bad interview with Justin JC, so tune in, you heard?
What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Justin JC here, and I'm back with another interview. This interview was so much fun. It has a lot of tea, and Tiana kept it 100% real. And honestly, I really expected this interview to be something totally different, but it was really fun. It was so fucking funny. And not only that, but Tiana has grown a lot, and I think y'all are going to really love her answers and how she feels about things today. So, I really hope y'all enjoyed this interview. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. And thank y'all so much for the support that I've gotten so far. Y'all are amazing. And more interviews are coming soon, so stay tuned. All right, what's up, everybody? It's your boy, Justin JC. I'm here with Tiana from Bad Girls Club, Season 11, and All-Star Battle 2. Girl, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Like, I'm not complaining at all.
Where you been, honey?
Girl, honestly, let me tell you something. I've really been on, like, this motherfucking, like, emotional roller coaster of, of what we call life, right?
Right.
I've been really just like soul searching. Like after the show, you know, I like a lot has changed for me. So I feel like I'm gonna be honest. I've been literally like hiding, so I could get myself, you know, back to who I am.
Right. Do you think was the reaction from the audience after 11, was it pretty good, pretty bad?
It was ambivalent, you know, because I feel like just as much people that didn't, you know, fuck with me, did fuck with me. But I do think that the people that didn't was a bit more, and it was a lot for me to process at that time.
Right.
Because I was a little confused. Because honestly, I'm going to keep it a buck. I really thought people was going to really fuck with me. Like, wow, she was real. Like, I fucked with her. But when I got the opposite, it threw me off a little bit. Because I wasn't really, like, expecting that.
Right.
So I do think that the things that I have gone through after the show, you know, the feedback that I did get had a partial, was a factor in, like, you know, my, like, you know, roller coaster that I was on.
Right. So what made you want to do the Bad Girls Club?
All right. So, you know, as I said on my intro with BGC, like, I came from, like, poverty. So, honestly, being on Bad Girls Club for me was, like, my way out, the hood.
Right.
So, that's really what it was about. Like, it was really about me finding every opportunity and lane to make it out my situation.
Okay, then the Bad Girls Club is going to be like that stepping stone for you.
Yeah, like, what? Being on TV, coming from New York City, you've been coming from, like, the struggle, like, not just NYC, but the struggle. So it was different for me. Like, what? They want me to be on their television? Tiana? Like, I bet I'm going to give them what they want.
Right. So was that your first time auditioning, or did you audition for past seasons?
So, all right. BGC, no lie, like, a lot of people, like, you know, a lot of people really, like, they throw out this manifestation word a lot, like manifestation, you know, what you believe in yourself. That shit is really true. Like, I'm going to keep it all the way 100 with you. Like, everything that you're doing right now, like interviewing Brandy, like, you're actually putting in the action to put forth into, like, your true destiny. So a lot of shit is going to come from what you're doing right now with us. You feel me? And you may feel like, I don't necessarily know how you feel, but your following may not be what it is that you want right now. But I'm telling you, everything that you're doing, you're going to reap the rewards for it, because actually you're believing in yourself. You feel me? Like, you're taking the initiative and the action to do what it is that you truly want. So what I'm trying to say is, it's just like, that was my first time ever doing Bad Girls Club. Like, I was really out here in these New York streets trying to model.
Right.
Because I was slim, always wild, small, but I always knew in my heart something was going to pop for me. Like, I knew that I was destined for, like, some shit. Like, I knew some greatness was going to happen for me. I always felt like that.
Right.
And I used to sign up on the website. Like, I've never been to an audition for Bad Girls Club, but I was applying for it since I was, like, no lie, 18. Since I was put on the Bad Girls Club in high school, you couldn't tell me nothing. I think that's probably why I got suspended a few times and I was turning up in there, because I was always watching Bad Girls Club. But I actually I applied when I was I want to say 18. I started applying knowing I couldn't be on the show. Yo, let me tell you something, Justin. As soon as I turned 21, I got an first. All right, what happened was I was as soon as I turned 21 or whatever the case may be, I was applying to be on America's Next Top Model. I auditioned for America's Next Top Model once, and then I applied again. The same time America's Next Top Model hit me up, Bad Girls Club called my phone. They emailed me first, but it was in my spam. She called me like, hey, Tiana. When she called my phone, it threw me off. Like, what? So I'm thinking it's fake. She check your email. I go and check my spam, and I had a whole email from them saying come in and audition at Ripley Greer Studio, and it was lit after that.
That's what's up, girl. Turn up. So you get to the house. What was your first reaction?
My first reaction was, I'm gonna keep it about. My first reaction was nah, I'm not here. This shit is not real. I'm really about to be on TV. I'm really about to I don't think I was nervous. I was really more so super excited. I was wild excited.
Right. I noticed that you kind of meshed in well with the reality TV thing, because I noticed, when some people do reality TV the first time, when they're doing the confessionals, they sound so scripted because, it's their first time. They don't really know how to talk to the audience. But I see that you did it really well. So how long did it take you to really get used to, doing the confessionals and stuff and being around the cameras all the time?
So one thing about me, even from the first audition, okay, so with Bad Girls Club, I don't know everybody's experience, but you sit at this table with 12 other girls, right, with one casting director.
Right.
And she asks you 3 questions. Basically, these 3 questions is basically separating you from everybody else. And I just knew right there, to be myself. It was always about being me. I never, ever, one time on that show ever thought, well, let me move this way because they'll fuck with me because I did this. Everything was authentically and genuinely me. So when I got into the confessional, I was just being raw. They called the bad phone. They Tiana, we want you to go in the confessional and talk about what just happened. I bet. So I just go in there and give them, you feel me? This is exactly what happened. So I never really thought too much about it. A lot of people notice that, and this is one thing people always say to me, especially men in my family and stuff. They say they didn't watch it because they felt like I was always in my underwear. So I literally used to forget that I was on a show, that it was cameras around that. You feel me? I was in a house that was being filmed 24/7. So I was just more so in my zone. It really wasn't a overthinking type of situation for me. It was just be.
Right. So when y'all had got in the house, y'all had met Tess. And Tess did not stay there that long because she wasn't really fucking with the vibe. So I want to know, what was your opinion of Tess and how do you feel about her, leaving so early and her reasoning for leaving?
All right, so you know what's so funny? I just watched the video. Somebody tagged me in a video, I want to say about a week or 2 ago, and it was me, I was the first one in the house, and I was looking at each girl picture, and I pointed at Tess' picture, and I was I really don't know about her. And I watched it 4 or 5 times laughing at myself, but it was just so weird or crazy to me that I pointed that out about her, and she happened to be the person that was the first one to leave on the same night that we came in. So I just feel everybody is different, and people think that they want something until they actually experience it.
Right.
And I feel that goes for a lot of things. Even with the beef in the crib, you feel me? When that goes back to Janelle, she thought she was gonna come in, do what she did, be spicy, and maybe I don't know why she thought. You feel me? I think that a lot of people just think that they this and they that, and when you give them that heat but you bring it a little more extra, they not ready for it. So now they looking at you well, you know what? I don't think I could really deal with this. So I feel it's either fight or flight. And Tess felt she couldn't really handle it. I don't know what she really experienced that much that made her feel that strongly, but at the end of the day, you gotta support her decision because she know herself better than anybody. I felt like personally it was a cop out because for you to go through this entire process, like everybody think that you go to Bad Girls Club, they audition you, you on a flight to wherever city you going to. Nah, it's a process. You went through everything. You went through all these steps and then got in the crib and then decided, like, nah, that's not for me. You took the opportunity. Like, I just feel like you took food off somebody else's plate.
Right.
So,
yeah, I feel you on that. So, Gigi ends up replacing Tess. And I know y'all really did like Gigi in the house. So, what was your first impression of Gigi?
My first impression of Gigi was like, yeah, like we got New York in the building. We out here. That's how I felt. Like I feel so strongly about my city. Like I think everybody do. So I already knew, like going in the crib, my personality was gonna be different from everybody else because I'm from New York. So for her to come in the crib, I already knew that it was going, like me and her was going to like mesh really well because we was here, like you feel me? So I was really excited for her. And then her energy on top of that, it was over. Like I loved Gigi as soon as she walked through the door.
Right. So a big part of Gigi's storyline was her beef with Sarah. And I noticed that a lot of the girls in the house felt like Sarah was just bullying Gigi. Did you feel that same way? Did you feel like Sarah was trying to bully Gigi?
Alright, so, because Sarah, that's my boo, that's my friend, me and her talk, you feel me? So,
right.
I gotta really be cautious on how I answer this question because I don't ever want her to feel or take shit personal, like, you feel me? Because at that time, and I still feel like, you know, to this day, I do feel like Sarah was doing what she felt like she needed to do.
Right.
I don't think she was doing it more so because, you know, she just was being this mean, malicious bitch that wanted to just pick on the new girl. I don't think that was it. I think that she felt like everybody getting along, everybody being friendly, this new chick come in the crib. I don't really know too much about her. I already got a relationship with these females, so she's a target.
Right.
That's what I think her mental was about it. But she, you know, she was dealing with a lion. Like, you know, like they both lions too. Like, you know, they both, you know, lionesses. I support it, but you know, she got what she was looking for when that shit jumped off.
Right. And I also want you to know too, Sarah was actually my second interview that I did. So so she's actually done interviews with me before, so she kind of understands the dynamic, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't want you to think that any shit was gonna get started from this interview because I don't.
No,
yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't think that at all. I also know that people will tune in and listen.
Right.
People do scream. You know, you take one thing and fans run with it, and they be like, "Well, Tiana said." And that's what people do.
Right. But yeah, I feel what you're saying though.
Yeah.
So then it gets to a point where Sarah and Gigi, they end up fighting in the kitchen or whatever. I want to know, in person, was that fight as intense as it was watching it?
It was, no lie, we was 95% of the time we was twisted. So for me to really like relive that whole experience, it's a little blurry, but it was intense though. They was cracking each other. Like it was so funny because it really got amped up. It was gassed. Like Mimi really gassed that shit up. Like when I say she whipped that whole like situation up to perfection.
Oh, period.
It was but it was funny too because like I don't think Gigi really thought not Gigi. I don't think Sarah really realized that, you know, Sarah was going like really. I mean, I don't think Sarah thought Gigi was going to really give it to her like that. I thought she was going to run down on her, and Gigi was going to be like, I don't want no beef. So that's really what made it chaotic because when Gigi popped, when it really got physical, it was like, oh, okay, like, you know, it went there.
Right.
It went there.
Right. And I also want to know, too, because on y'all's season, there were a lot of fights, and the fans were getting very angry with the fact that they felt like the wrong girls were going home. and they were wondering what was the fighting rule for your season, because some people thought it was, oh, you hit somebody first, you're going home, or oh, you make a person draw blood, you're going home. I want to know, what did the producers tell you?
All right, with the producers, all right, so it's not even the producers. When you first get on the show, when you go in, all right, so when they fly you out to the city, they say you about to be on the show. You go into that hotel room, right? They take everything. They have a lawyer come in the room and sit down with you and chop it up with you. And he goes over things. So basically, it's not about the fighting. It's about the severity of it.
Okay.
That's really what it was all about. It was about, I think that the security, they amped it up a little more, especially with our season. So they really didn't let us get crazy. But, like, I really thought, like, even with us jumping Haley, that was critical. Like, till this day, I still feel like, I'm not going to front. Till this day, if somebody in my family or my friend get into a fight and I feel like I got to jump in, I'm still giving it up like that. I'm just keeping it a buck with you, 28 or not. That's how it's going down. But I don't think that everybody deserves that type of treatment, and I don't feel like she deserved that. You feel me? Like, as I said before, but
right,
we all should have went home. If y'all want to talk about severity, I feel like, but it was so late in the game. We was only a few days left in on the show, so it was but so much they could really do. So for people to try to compare, like, well, why didn't they do this with Haley? It was just like, well, it was too late at that point. But that's really what it was about. Like, my Lynn actually, like, scratching her face and getting so close to her eyes, she was a liability.
Right.
So it was more so about that. Like, they don't want nobody really literally on there losing an eye, breaking their arm, hitting their head the wrong way, because we all drinking and we being petty and we fighting. So right. That's really what it's about.
Right. And I did notice when the producer was talking to Mylene was sent home for the scratch. Sarah was sent home for being a liability because the girls kept fighting her. But see, the fans were just very annoyed with that, because they were like, well, why don't you send home the person that keeps fighting her rather than the person that's getting beat up? You feel what I'm saying?
I get that, but then again, it's just like, it's just like, all right, listen, that's the thing too. Like, everybody be having these type of, like, these perceptions on what they feel like went down on the show. Now, don't get me wrong, I understand we all watched it, but it's a lot of editing that is involved as well, which people should know and should put into, like, take that into consideration. Like, hey, okay, I don't know the full story, so I can't really speak on it.
Right.
With that whole situation, it wasn't like people was just picking on Sarah. You feel me? Like, it wasn't like niggas just wanted beef with Sarah. Like, you know what? She's doing this. Now, she was really doing, like, at that time, at that period in time, like, she was doing a lot. Like, I'm talking about little, like just nitpicking at each and everything. So when the roles reversed, of course, some people could have left it alone, but, like, it was to the point where just everybody was just, like, really, like, frustrated, at that time, and more so looking for a reason to, like, get Sarah out of there because of everything that was, like, taking place. So it just wasn't like a mean girl type of thing, like, let's fuck with Sarah and get her out of here, like, you feel me? And a lot of drinking is involved too, like, a lot of drinking. Right.
So, and I also remember that time when the whole house was ready to fight Sarah. The way they edited that made it seem like it was one big old thing. But if you notice, there was one point where she's fighting Jazz Monet, then there's one point where she's fighting you, then there's one point where everybody's fighting her. So I want to know, was it more than one altercation, or was it all at once like it was shown?
It was all that, like, all right. It all happened during the same time span, but it all happened differently, just like that. Like, the same way we came in the crib, we was like, we gonna talk to Sarah, we gonna tell her that, because wasn't that the meeting where we was like, she going home?
Right.
That was that. Boom. She was messing with Gigi. That was real shit what happened. Like, that time order really happened. Like, she was fucking with Gigi. Jazz said, tag me in. It was funny. It was so funny, though. It was so funny. Because Jazz like, tag me in. She tags her in. So now she's tagged in or whatever. They beefing. Now, me personally, right? Like, this is my own thinking in my head.
Okay.
Jazz, my friend. So, when I see that she's cracking Jazz, like, she's really bringing it to her, I felt some type of way. So, I really wasn't thinking in my head, like, because I don't remember what the order went in or how we pulled her hair. But I don't think I was the first one to really pull her hair, but I did. Now, like I said, I had no business doing that. You feel me? Mm-hmm. But in my head at that time, I'm thinking, like, she got to get up off my friend because she's really trying to run down on her. So that's what I'm thinking. But even after that, I felt like I redeemed myself, you know, which people don't respect because in their eyes, they felt like I still was, you know, jumping her. But I pulled her hair, and when she asked, I told her, like, you know, I did that. And that's exactly why me and her went at it. Now, while I continuously went after her, I just didn't think everybody should have jumped in once me and her was going at it. Like,
right,
you feel me?
Right.
So that's why I felt like I was still going after her. Now it's looking like everybody is trying to jump her when me and her had our situation going on. Then Mimi comes in. So it was just really chaotic, but it really did happen the way that everybody seen it, like in that order.
Right.
That's how it went down.
Right. Did it ever make you angry, you know, about all the stuff that Mimi had instigated, you know, watching it back where you like, damn, like, why the fuck did she do that? Or
no, I just felt like, nah. I'm the type of person that I take accountability for my own actions. So I never sit back and be like, why did she do this or why did she do that? You know, I really don't try to focus too much on the next person. So what I really took from it was I can't allow nobody to put no battery in my back and always try to be super saver hole for people, because that's what I felt like I was trying to do in the beginning. Like,
right.
You feel me? Like, well, you tried to violate my friend. She didn't want to put the money, like, not minding my business. I just felt like, you know, I got to protect people and be this, you know. So that's really what it more so was. But I think Mimi did what she felt like she needed to do to be on the show.
Okay, then. And when Sarah and Mimi had that fight upstairs, this was after she came and approached you, and she was like my real hair is falling out. I don't mind fighting y'all, but for 3 girls to come up behind me and pull my hair, that's not cool. I want to know, did y'all see her head upstairs? Did y'all know that was finna happen? Cause I know y'all came upstairs looking shocked, like, what happened?
All right. I was truly thrown off guard by it. Because, and this is just my perception on it, Sarah came downstairs. It was me and Stephanie. I could be wrong. My memory is not the greatest. Gigi could have been there too. I don't think she was.
I think she was. I think she said something to Gigi first, and then she approached.
But Gigi was coming out the kitchen, right?
Yeah.
I think Gigi went back into the kitchen. I don't think Gigi came like in the living room, but she came up to us because I seen her talking to Gigi. She came to us, and my answer to her was this. I don't really, all right, I don't remember what I said exactly on the show, but I do remember me telling her, like, you know what, if you feel some type of way about what I did, we could get it on and leave it alone after that. She said, I don't want to fight. So when she went upstairs and fought Mimi, it threw me off because I felt like, if she felt so strongly about, you feel me, what I did, let me and her get it on because she is right. Like, her shit was falling on her head. But I was more so looking at it like, well, you know, your hair is coming out. I'm not going to sit here and act like, you feel me?
Who fighting?
No, I'm not going to sit here and act like, you know, I'm doing all of this. Like, so it's just like to the point where, it like I said, it threw me off when she went upstairs and fought Mimi. But maybe Mimi, you know, like I said, from what I seen on the show, Mimi gave her, you know, more heat. She told her, if you feel some type of way, put your hair up. At that time, I felt like Sarah didn't want no problems with me. I felt like, so that's how I felt at the time. Because for her to go upstairs and fight Mimi, I was looking at it like, well, you know, I told her if she feels some type of way, we could get it on. She said she didn't want to fight or whatever. So I thought that's not what she was going around looking for. I thought she just wanted to explain, this is what happened, my hair's coming out. I want y'all to know this, like, this shit is getting real serious. It's not that deep. So when she fought Mimi, it kind of, like, you know, threw me off.
Right. Well, see, the way the show portrayed it was when she said that to you, you just was looking at her. You didn't say anything. They did not even show that interaction where you saying, oh, well, let's get it on. And she's saying, I don't want to fight. They just, made it seem like she said that to you. You just looked at her and then she went upstairs.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
me and her, and I said what I said. Like, I looked at her. I was like, look, Sarah, I see your hair falling out. So, because that's just me as a person, though. My first reaction, especially if I do something to like disrespect somebody, they feel some type of way. My first thing is, so what you want to do about it? Like, how do we move forward? Because if you want to fight about it, I respect it. Like, we could get it on. Like, it is what it is. But if that's not what you want to do, then we could leave it. My fault. I wasn't trying to, rip your hair out your scalp. But, like, that's the way the cookie crumble. But I respect it if that's what you want to do to feel better about what happened.
Right.
So, yeah.
But it's good to see that you and Sarah are still cool to this day, though.
Yeah, like, number one, my thing is with Sarah is that, and I always say, I regret even, like, picking sides like I did so early on, because I feel like Sarah is one of those people that come into your life and it's just like she is who she is. You feel me? Like, and Sarah's very blunt. Sarah gonna tell you how she feel. She not perfect, just like I'm not. If I gotta do this, if I gotta stir a little trouble, say what I need to say, to get some more ratings, then fine. But I just felt like I jumped out the window with her because I felt like me and her could have genuinely been friends, and maybe things could have went differently. You feel me? But I feel like, there's no coincidences. Shit happened the way it's supposed to happen. So
Right.
but I'm glad we are who we are now.
So we move on to the next replacements, which are Janelle and Shanae. What was your first impression of them both?
Like I said, I always was judging my first opinions of the picture. So when I see Janelle, I already knew off of looking at her picture on that wall that it was going to be an issue with her. I just felt like maybe not necessarily me or her. I just knew she was going to be given a lot of spiciness. Like, I just knew it. As for Shanae, I just felt like Shanae was going to be exactly who she was. She was going to come in with a smile, good energy. It was going to be cool. Like, now when Janelle walked through the door, exactly how I felt about her in that picture is exactly what I thought about her when she walked in the house.
Okay, then. And what about Shanae, honey?
Shanae she was cool. Like, she was a vibe. Like, I just, like, she was happy. She was happy. She showed love. She embraced everybody. She was, I felt like she was there to have a good time. I felt like Janelle was there with this mentality to be like, this bad bitch is coming through, make way, and let me go sit on my motherfucking throne. And the peasant, like, that's just how I feel like she came in here with that type of attitude. Like, you feel me? Like, she just felt like she had to be what she thought a bad girl was.
Right. Yeah, and being that it is the Bad Girls Club, sometimes you will have very big personalities like that coming through. So,
but it's about authenticity, though. So I get big personalities coming into there. I respect it. But if you're not that type of person that want problems, and you truly want to make friends and you want to be friendly, then act like that.
Right.
Like, every woman has, I feel like, bad girl tendencies. Like, nobody's perfect. Every human being has tendencies to do some shit that everybody can have something to say about. But I think that is all about being authentically yourself. Now, when you're trying to portray an image, when you really don't want no static, to me, I just think that that's not, That's just my opinion, but yeah.
So what really made you start disliking her, though? Was it after the Jazz Monet stuff, or?
It really was. All right, so that was the first straw with the Jazz Monet thing, because I already felt the way I felt about her when she walked in the house. Like, I just felt like, I think energy is everything. Vibrations is everything. I think that shit is true. So me and her not clicking off rip, I just felt like it was something about her. And when she did what she did with the little hair flip, I felt like that only confirmed, you feel me, my feelings about her. So after that, I don't think I really ever, really gave her a chance. Like, I really wasn't really looking to be her friend, because I felt like, I already know who you are. I see what you hitting for. You disrespectful. So that was really my thought process at that time, That's how I felt about it.
Okay, then. And so then it then escalated into her and Gigi developing a beef. Um, and her and Gigi were getting ready to fight in the room. And this is where the fans kind of start getting frustrated with Gigi. So Gigi tells Janelle to pop off. Janelle's putting her scarf on. And she claps in her face and she says, if you're going to do something, pop off. So Janelle stands up and Gigi is literally looking her in her eyes. So she sees her getting up. But she turns around anyway and takes off her earrings, and then Janelle hits her. And Shanae's point was, why would you hit somebody while they're walking away? But the fans' point is, well, why would you turn around if somebody's already standing up in your face getting ready to hit you? So what's your opinion on that?
I think it could go both ways, though. I feel like, no lie, I feel like, I'm going to keep it a buck, Gigi got caught slipping because, you know, you know what I think? Let me tell you something. I think everything just happens like in a New York minute, though. Everything happens so fast. So I feel like Gigi already knew that she wanted it. Like, Gigi knew that she was going to fight her because she stood up. So Gigi's reaction was, oh, word? That's what I think she was thought in her head. When she stood up, Gigi was like, oh, I bet. Let me take my earrings off. I don't think Gigi thought it was going to happen so fast. I thought Gigi thought, like, and of course, like I said, liquor is in it. So your reaction is a little delayed. So now Gigi thinking like she got time to take her earrings off and turn back around and pop. By this time, sis already done did it. So I just feel like, you know, that 1 second of her turning her head, it changed it. But I still feel like, you know, regardless of what it was, sis still got cracked up though a little bit.
Right.
So they both got their hits. It is what it is.
Yeah, and a lot of the fans felt like this season was very unfair for some of the girls because they felt like the girls could never defend themselves because if they messed with one, then the others was going to come after them as well. And they felt like during that fight with Janelle and Gigi, if you notice how, you know, Jasmine, they came in and grabbed hold of her and then Teresa came in after that. They felt like Janelle never really got a real chance to defend herself besides that one time with you and her.
I can't knock them for feeling the way they feel because that's really how it was, though. So I feel like that's the energy that we was given. Like, you mess with one of us, you got to be ready for all of it. Now, do I think it was fair? No, I don't think it was fair because it was basically like we was putting people in a position where they really had to choose that they really gonna fuck with us because they genuinely fuck with us, or it was like literally three options. Either you got to stand alone and not fuck with us, and it is what it is, and just be ready for whatever consequences that came with it, or you fucked with us and you really didn't like us, but you knew that you had to deal with us, or you know, I honestly, when now that I'm saying it like out loud and I'm looking back on it, it's like it really was a fucked up situation to be in, though. It was, cause we really was like on some like what they call it, gang shit. Like,
right.
That's really how it was.
Right. But see, that's why I fucks with you, though, because you literally sitting here agreeing and you understand, boo-boo, and you owning up to it. I fucking love that.
Yeah, that's a fact, though.
Keep it real, honey. Shit.
That's me all day.
But, so Teresa ends up grabbing hold of Janelle and her, she ends up kicking her, like her shoe ends up hitting her or whatever. And then production tells Teresa that she has to go home because a few more centimeters she would have took Janelle's eye. And y'all were very upset that Teresa had to leave, and you had made sure to mention to Janelle, because of my loyalty to Teresa, I can't let you make it to the end. And I want to know, looking back on that, do you feel like it was more so Teresa's fault that she left rather than Janelle's? Because your main point was, I want her to go because she got Teresa sent home.
All right. I honestly have my own personal, like, I didn't want Janelle there. So Teresa going home because of her was only like a extra, you feel me, ammo in the gun to be like, now I really don't, like, you see what I'm saying? Like,
right.
So that's really how I think I felt about the whole situation. It wasn't necessarily like, of course I didn't want Teresa to go home. I was upset about that. But I ain't fuck with Janelle. So I was just like, I bet. Now my friend went home. Now it's really a problem. Like, it's really a problem because you think you're going to sit in here and be comfortable. I remember, like, that's really how I felt. Like, now you really got to leave. So that's really how I was looking at it.
Right. And, you know, I want to know if production had a little influence because all that stuff that y'all were doing to Janelle, I just want to know, did production ever amp any of that up or were y'all really just...
One thing production never do, that's one thing they never do is sit you in a room and be like, go out there and start problems with Janelle. They never do no shit like that. So I'm not going to sit here and say that. What they do is, they just the same way you see how you playing back to me the events that transpired, they do that to you, but they finesse the words in the type of way to make you look at it like, well, maybe I could have done more. Or maybe people can look at me like I was pussy for that. So now when I go back, I gotta beat it. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But with Janelle, they never really had to do that with me. Like, I don't feel like I ever needed a battery in my back. I think that I would be lying to you right now if I was to say they did or they didn't, because I don't. That's not what I remember. I don't feel like they ever came up to me and was like, "Go," you know. They would just be like, "Listen, Janelle, you know, we want to talk about that argument you and Janelle had, and we felt like we put you on this show because you're the type of woman that speaks your mind. But we felt like in that situation, you didn't really say how you truly felt." So now you looking at it like, all right, so y'all trying to say that I was holding my tongue because I'm scared of her. So now the next time me and her have an argument, I gotta, like, that's really how they would put it. But they never was on some, like, go in the house and go push her or go do this, go do that. And like I keep saying, I keep emphasizing that liquor had a huge part in it. Because once we got lit, it was over.
Right.
Like, it was just like our emotions was on 1,000. But at that time, I just really didn't like Janelle. Like, I didn't want her around me. I thought she was taking up space. I felt like, it was just like, why are you here? So, if I feel like, and to an extent, that's like bully, tendencies, because leave the girl alone, let her be. I don't feel like I would move like that today with her. Or anybody else for that matter, but at that time, that's what I was hitting for. Like, that's what I was giving on.
Right. So then, Andrea comes in and Andrea replaces
Teresa.
Yeah, Teresa. And I want to know, what was y'all first impression of Andrea? I know some of y'all were like, "Damn, this bitch is tall."
I was bothered by her coming into the house because I felt like they did that because they felt like they knew they had so many strong personalities in the house. And they knew that she would be intimidating and we really wouldn't want to fuck with her. And I'm going to keep it a buck, I did. That's all I kept saying. Like, y'all want to fuck with this bitch? Y'all fuck with her. I'm not fucking with her because she was giving me that like, everybody go to sleep, she'll burn this shit up and laugh outside with a motherfucking cigarette in her mouth. Like, I swear, that's what I used to like. I'm not fucking with her. Like, even that time, like, I don't know if that's what you was gonna bring up, but remember that time when, me and her got into it and she left?
You said what, honey? You said you remember the...
When me and Andrea got into it, Andrea, that's her name, Andrea. When me and Andrea got into it and she left, right?
Mm-hmm.
That shit threw me off because I didn't want no problems with her. But like you said, like, I felt like people genuinely, like, and I think that we were so oblivious, or maybe me, I really didn't feel like, I felt like this whole time I was doing what I wanted to do. And if anybody else wanted to, fuck with me and ride out with me, then cool. But I was never doing it to have somebody riding having my back.
Right.
I appreciated that Gigi and Jazz was loyal. I love that to this day. But at the same time, that's not what I expected from them. So when me and Andrea got into it, I wasn't thinking in my head like, oh, well, now me and you got a problem. I didn't even want a problem with her. I thought me and her was going to have this argument. It was going to be left alone because it wasn't my intent to make her feel uncomfortable. That's not my style. Like, I don't, especially when I fuck with with you. I don't move like funny with people. Like 1 minute I'm dealing with you, and the next minute I don't really want to like be your friend, and I'm moving funny with you. I feel like I was consistent on that show too. So it just it's like it threw me off. But like I said, like let's go back to the original question. I was bothered that Andrea came in because I knew what production was trying to do with her big ass.
Right, and she also had ended up linking up with Janelle, and they started, being like a little team.
But we knew that.
Yeah, she would kind of, which a fan wanted me to ask about this, because us as the viewers still want to know this, because they didn't even talk about it at the reunion. But did y'all know that Andrea and Janelle, did y'all know that Andrea and Janelle put mud in y'all makeup?
I never knew that. And my face was breaking out. That's the funny thing. I'm in there using my shit thinking I'm cute. and these bitches really had mud, like really violated. Like I never knew this. And you know what's foul though? What's foul is that production knew this dusty shit and they ain't even put us on. So like let's get to that. So like I never knew that till I watched it. Like I was like, wow, like they really did that. But yeah, I had no idea. No idea.
Damn. Like
no idea.
I think, you know what I was thinking too? I was thinking production was probably like, you know what, Janelle's been through a lot of shit. Let's just let them get let's let them get their lick back or some shit like that.
Maybe they did, but let me tell you something. I forgot how Jazz found out something, and she literally, all right, I'm not even gonna say it, but she did spit and what's her name, and her shampoo, and she did some other shit.
She put hot sauce in one of them and put hot sauce in something.
She did some other shit. She really did, but cause she felt violated. That's what. Yes, you're right. That's what happened. It wasn't even because we never found out about the makeup. It was the hot sauce situation. So after she did the hot sauce situation, that's when Jazz took her personal products in the bathroom because we all shared the shower. So we had our shit in the shower, and she did some shit to her shit.
Oh, okay then. I remember she came up in there and she was like, "Hey Becky, when you done, I want to fight you." And she was like, "All right," but. They didn't end up fighting, right? I don't remember if she actually.
Andrea never came out.
Okay.
She didn't want no problem.
Oh, so she actually was gonna fight her then.
Yeah, Jazz was gonna get busy with her.
Oh, okay.
Jazz was really gonna get busy with her, but Andrea never came out. She left it alone. Cause I felt like Andrea, like, coming into the house, she felt like, I'm gonna be a friend to Janelle. I feel bad, but I don't think she really realized what she was really like up against. And then once she really realized it, and Jazz came into that room and was like, I don't think Andrea was ever scared. I think Andrea was more so scared of what the fuck she might do to somebody.
Right. Probably should.
Right. So I was like, let's leave her crazy ass alone.
So then y'all had decided, hey, Janelle's going home today. Like, fuck it. She's getting the fuck up out this bitch. So, y'all walk up in there and you're like, hey, you're going home today, right? I want to know. So, production didn't have nothing to do with that. Y'all literally yourselves were like, we're going to get her out of here. Production didn't have shit to do with that?
All right, I would be lying to you if I answered that question. But I do know that it happened this way. Jazz came to me, woke me up. I was knocked out. And she said, T, today's the day. And I was like, wait, I'm still processing this. And she going home. And I'm like, oh, word? Like, it is. Like, that's what we doing. She let's go do it. And that's when we went downstairs and we, the interaction happened. So I don't know if Jazz had her own conversation with production, you feel me? But she came up. I know that, and like I said, Jazz you might speak to Jazz, or it might come up, and she might bring it up, and then I'll be like, oh yeah, because my memory is shot. Honestly, like I don't have the best memory, but I do know that she did wake me up. But I'm trying to remember. We had to talk like the day before or something, and we was like tomorrow, because I think something was coming up, or It was something. I don't know. But I don't. You know what, Justin? Let's leave it on the answer that I gave you the first time, because I damn sure don't know.
You good, boo. But yeah. So at first, y'all both had kind of pulled her and then put her out the door, and then she was like, "I want to speak to Andrea." So she started talking to Andrea. She was telling Andrea, I think I'm gonna have to fight. Andrea was like, "Well, if you're gonna do something, then do something." So Janelle ends up going back up to the room, and then this time you're like, okay, no, she's getting the fuck up out of here now. I'm tired of it. So you walk up there, you're like, put your scarf on. You want to pop off, pop off. And then Janelle's like, well, my scarf's been on. And then I think you start like grabbing her stuff or something like that. I don't know what it was. I think you grabbed her, I think. And then y'all made your way to the door. And I know some of the bad girls say security hides behind the walls. So when did y'all see security kind of standing by to be ready to stop y'all? Was it kind of like when y'all got close to the door? Because that's what I'm thinking.
So me being in the midst of the moment, right? I'm not really paying mind to like security pulling up, but I do know from like previous fights and stuff like that, they do that. They do bring, like, you notice when they know shit is about to get critical, because we'll turn around and be in mid-argument and it'll be two security guards, like, in the room with us.
Okay, then. So they be ready, then.
Yeah, so they already be on deck.
Okay, then. So, did you expect Janelle to actually turn around and start fighting you? Like, did you
I did not. That's why my reaction was like, oh, word? Like, okay. Like, oh, I didn't. I really didn't. I thought she was going to let me toss her little ass out the house, and it was going to be what it was. But when she actually, like, fought back, I was like, oh, okay. All right. I see you.
Right. And it was kind of hard to see. So what type of, did she, like, end up, like, punching you? Was it, like, a little slap? I know she turned around and did something, but you couldn't really see it.
So what happened was, remember the way I was, like, so I was, like, grabbing her. Like, I was trying to, like, pull her out the house.
Right.
And I was trying to, like, get her in this position where I was, like, trying to, like, almost, like, lift her leg up. And when I went down to, like, get her leg, she, like, elbowed me. Like, her elbow came down on me. Like, so that was the hit. Like, she came down with her elbow. Boom. So once she did that, that's when I, like, retaliated.
Okay, was that the only hit that she got in?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really remember her hitting me after that, because I know I was trying to take her head off her shoulders. I just was swinging with that right. I was just throwing that right. So I know I wasn't hurting after that. I don't even think she touched me, honestly.
Right. And then after y'all had finished, you was like, well, I got what I wanted. And the next thing
I did.
And the next thing you know, she slaps Jazz. And Jazz...
Oh, my gosh. When she did that... Oh, my God. I was not fucking expecting that. She left with a bang. If that's what you call a fucking... She damn sure made her exit, because she was not playing. Yeah. I did not expect that. That's why Jazz snatched her ass up at the reunion. She was not letting that go.
and then she ran down, busted a split. Hey on it.
Yeah, hey on it.
And that was the end of Janelle. But I remember in a past interview, she said that production actually told her before all of that happened, like, hey, we're just letting you know we're going to send you home because you're a liability. So if you want to go ahead and let loose, let loose.
For real? What interview she said that in?
She said that in an interview with what's his name? With A Connection TV. You remember Wesley Mona?
Yes.
Yeah. In her interview, she said they told her she was going home anyway because she was a liability. So they was like, if you're gonna get it in, might as well go ahead and do it. And I guess coincidentally, that was the same day that you and Jazz were ready for her to go. So yeah.
Oh, this is my first time hearing that. So I didn't know that.
Yeah, and see, that's why I keep asking you if production had influence on this or that, because they have influenced a few girls from your season to do things. So.
Oh wow! I mean, that's spicy, because I didn't know that. Like, you want to know something? When you speak on that, like, if that actually like did take place, and I'm not gonna say it didn't, it did. I just feel like they know who they could do that with, because it's just certain shit that I wasn't willing to do. Like, I just feel like, you know, even with the whole situation, like I always go back to Haley, because they was really upset with me with that whole situation. And I told them, like, listen, you don't bring a girl from the hood. Like, I'm talking about, I don't just come from some, like, you know, I was raised in a nice, you know, 3-story home in Queens somewhere, and I went to this private school, like, you know, and I'm not saying that everybody that come from, you know, the streets or however, or urban communities, however you want to put it, is like that. But I was raised differently. I've been around a whole totally different environment. So don't ask me to come in here and do something and be something that I'm truly not, and that's not a part of my nature.
Right.
So, like I said, they could do that with certain people. So if they did, that's crazy. But I just felt like I wasn't allowing them to do that, because I felt like it took away from the actual experience.
Right. So then, after Janelle leaves, we have Mercedes Benzie. She replaces Janelle, and y'all loved Benzie. So her vibe in the house, it was pretty much tolerable. Like, y'all were like, oh yeah, we can fuck with her.
You asking me?
Yeah.
For the most part, she was cool, but you know, I sort of started, like, gravitate, like, you know, slowly, like, she was cool. Like you said, I think you used the best word for it. She was tolerable for me. Like,
okay.
She was cool. Like, I wouldn't have, like, that's why I say, like, me and her to this day, we don't really, like, keep in touch and shit like that. It's no beef. I just feel like, you know, certain people gravitate towards those that, you know, they fuck with, and some people you just, like, you know, y'all, you know, venture apart. There's no beef. Hey, if I see you, but yeah.
Right. So in the house, you were more so around Jazz Monet. She was like your number one in the house.
Jazz Monet and Gigi for the most part. Gigi, like, Jazz Monet, like, I wouldn't say number one, because I feel like Jazz and Gigi, like, those was like my, and it's not because, you know, and people always go back to that like, you know, romantic shit with me and Gigi.
Right.
Or whatever. But, like, it wasn't just because of that. Like, you know, like, I really fucked with Gigi. Like, on the outside, like, me and her really click. Like, you feel me?
Right.
So, that's really what it was.
Okay, then. And then, you know, once Benzie joins the house, then tensions with Shanae start to rise. And I remember Shanae saying something like, you were the only one in the house that really fucked with her. For real, like that. Was that true?
I did. So, all right. So, that's one thing that I feel like, you know, I'm not going to say till this day, it's the past, but, and me and Shanae, till it, like, you know, we talk, and she has truly been there for me, like, at some, like, trying times. So I genuinely love her, and I do regret giving up on her the way I did on this show, because I felt like if anybody could have diffused the situation, it could have been me.
Yeah.
So, I truly regret that, because I allowed things to get way deeper than they was, and I feel like the reason why I did that is what I entertained, when I should have nipped certain shit in the bud, when I should have been on some, like, nah, y'all really looking for a problem right now, like, you know, leave her alone, let her be, she cool, like, you feel me, like, and I just think that it was, you know, like, certain people, like, Shanae is what I would have described as, like, a very emotional, like, being. And I think that at that time, just the same way I was, but I also felt like I knew what the fuck was going on with me in life. So I was a little ignorant as well. But I think Shanae was just more vulnerable to the process, and more so who she was and who she was growing into and the actual experience. And I think that because she allowed that, you know, because she was that way, I feel like it was more like a vulnerability. So people really wasn't trying to, like, hear her out or understand her frustrations and what made her sad, because everybody was so focused on living life and being a bad girl. You feel me? So
right.
I don't think she was necessarily doing anything wrong. I just think that she genuinely wanted true friendships. And I think that people just really wasn't trying to give that to her at the time, like, at all. Right. Niggas was just like, it is what it is. she's too emotional, she too wishy-washy. Like, every day it was something. Everybody coming back with something about her. Like, nah, she blew mine. She's acting like this. She's doing that, And, like, I just think that's a problem in life, though, period, too. Like, we be so quick to judge somebody and how they deal with shit and how they are, instead of trying to really, truly understand them. So.
Right.
That's what I think, really, really went wrong. And like I said, to answer your question, I do think that I fucked with her. I used to sit down, me and her used to chop it up. You know what made it go left with me and her? When she started, I felt like me and her was cool. We would chop it up. We would be, and then of course, that whole like attraction thing happened or whatever. So everything simultaneously happened. Like, she got like snotty with me one time. Like, she snapped at me one time. And instead of me just looking at it like, maybe she just dealing with some shit, I basically took it personal and started feeling like how everybody else was feeling. Like, you know what, y'all right. And then she then she's feeling me or whatever, and I'm not feeling her back. So now it's just like, I think all of that was like playing a factor into why I moved the way I moved with her in the end, which, like I said, which was some corny shit. But looking back on it, like, I wouldn't do that to nobody else.
Right.
Now, because, like, it wasn't right. But yeah, me and her was cool. Me and her actually did have like a friendship in that house.
Right. So then we get to the Shanae jumping situation. And there was a lot of unknown info behind this. I know they said Shanae's friends came to the club and y'all didn't like her friends, and then they get up in the car and then Stephanie's like, oh, your friends are irrelevant, and the fans felt like Stephanie just had this anger towards her out of nowhere. So,
my opinion with that whole Stephanie thing was, after a while, I really wasn't feeling Stephanie. I felt like more so Stephanie. All right, so you know how you say was the production telling you anything or whatever?
Right.
I feel like so when you do not your confessionals, but when you do your interviews, your green screens, you in that room with the producers by yourself. So nobody knows what goes on in that room unless you come back and tell them what happened. So I used to feel like when Stephanie went into that room, I feel like they was more so telling her, like, look, the season is about to be over, and we don't really got that much, film with you in it. And basically, we don't got that much film with you in it and stuff. So we need you to, amp it up a little more. And that's why I think she did what she did with Shanae. Now, this is my opinion. I'm not saying this is a fact. I truly still feel like that's why she did what she did, because it was rubbing me the wrong way after a while. Because I was even going back to Jazz Monet, telling them, like, I don't really think she like authentic. Like, I was telling her that, like, I was just like, I think she a follower. Like, that's what I was saying. So when she was coming with that heat at that time, it kind of like threw me off a little bit. Like, okay. Her friends didn't come and do nothing. They came. I felt like, everybody felt like they were supposed to greet us because that was our crib. But I felt like we also was looking for problems too. You feel me?
Right.
So I don't think her friends, they said hello. Shanae still introduced us to them. I think we was mad dry, if you want to get technical. We was wild dry, so they, you feel me, fed off our energy, and they was the same way. But, I just think that it was like a domino effect. Everything was a domino effect. So I wouldn't say they was being rude. They came in the house when they bullshit, because they didn't.
Yeah, and see, there was a rumor that during the jumping, her friends were actually outside and production would not let them in the house.
Her friends was, because I think that was the day. So I think they came, right? They went out that first night, and I think Shanae friends came over again. They started, I think that, I don't really, like I said, I don't want to recollect and I'm wrong, but I think things started getting a little spicy, like with her friends being there. Because remember, we could be talking to each other, but the producers hear everything that's going on in our mics.
Right.
So they already see where it's going. So they already got to take precautions to be like, you know what? we see that this could go left with her friends being here, so they gotta go. Now the friends they see that, you know, we not actually engaging with Shanae, but the fact that they're being asked to leave, now they looking at it like, well, why we gotta go now all of a sudden so abruptly? And that was because, you know, not everybody, because what happened was that day, I forgot what happened. Maybe I gotta watch that episode again, because I totally forgot what happened. I don't even know why did Stephanie approach her again? Why she approached Shanae for no reason? Why she approached her?
Like I said, it was a confusion to everybody. It was just out of nowhere. It started off with her saying her friends were irrelevant. And
so Stephanie just approached her and said that?
Yeah, they was in a limo going back and forth, and then she came in the house and started getting all up in her face and stuff. And
what the fuck happened at the club?
And she was saying that, you know, she wanted to do that by herself. That's why you were holding Gigi at the door, because Gigi was waiting at the door. She was ready to run up in there.
Yeah, she was. And
you were kind of holding on to her and everything, and
yeah, because I just felt like, me personally, I was looking at it because it was funny to me, because I'm like, I want to see what Stephanie gonna do.
Right.
So that's why I was telling Gigi about her business. And then again, I feel like Gigi was my friend. So I feel like, why you going hard, you know, to go in there and have Stephanie back? Like, let her go do her. Like, she want to go and do that. She want to feel good about herself. Let her go do that. But Gigi was on go that day.
Right. And so then next thing you know, Stephanie punches Shanae. They start fighting and they're going. Gigi runs in, Gigi grabs hold of her hair, and they're both going at her. And the fans had got a little frustrated because they noticed that you had ran over and grabbed hold of Shanae while they were pulling on her, and they were like, if she's trying to break the fight up, why aren't you grabbing somebody that's fighting? You're grabbing onto Shanae, and Shanae's being held by her hair.
Right.
So they thought it was intentional. Me watching it, I was thinking, okay, maybe just in the moment, probably a wrong move. But then, yeah.
It was.
Right.
It was.
And then I noticed in one of the interviews, I know your interview with Wesley, you were saying the reason why you had ran back and tried to hit Shanae after everything was said and done was because you saw that Gigi had a scratch on her face.
Honestly, I ran in because I was being corny, and I was on my brandy shit. Like, that's one thing. That's what I feel like. That's the only thing that could explain why I ran in there and did what I did. Because there's really no explanation on why I jumped in. I really don't got no justification on why I moved the way I did that day. Like, I just ran in. I was laughing, actually, because I thought the shit was funny.
Right.
And I was holding Shanae. Why I started hitting her, I just felt like I said, that's really my only explanation. I just felt like I really was just in the moment, and I was trying to be down. I did see a scratch on Gigi's face, but I still feel like that's no reason for why I went in there and hit that girl. Like, it was no reason for me to go in there and involve myself in that.
Right.
Like,
and did you
at
know?
all.
And did you know why Jasmine A ran in and tried to get a hit in too, or you didn't know?
I mean, I can only speak for me and why I did what I did, so I can't really say why Jazz did what she did. Okay. But yeah. So.
Okay. And I noticed during that fight, Andrea actually tried to come in and break it up. She was screaming like, "Get the fuck off her! Get the fuck off her!"
Yeah, she was. She was upset.
And I noticed that the girls had got mad at her for trying to break it up. Looking back on that, do you think she was wrong for that, or?
Oh no, I don't think she was wrong at all, because I felt like she was staying true to herself. Like, you feel me? Like, right. That's how she genuinely felt, and she been feeling that way. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, that's always how she been. Like, she just felt like it wasn't right. I felt like eventually she hung out with us, and she felt like we was cool, but she always, you know, made that clear that she didn't like the way that we moved as a collective.
Right.
So even though I fuck with y'all and we cool now, I still don't think how y'all move when problems arise is right. And she always made that clear.
Right. So Shanae, she decides to leave. You know, the producer walks in, and I think he came in and he asked her, "Are you okay?" And she was like, I'm done. I didn't deserve that. I did not deserve that. So then production, and then, and she said, as long as y'all can make sure I can pack my shit without them fucking with me, I'm good. And she left. And I remember in one of your interviews, you were saying that you really did not expect her to leave, and it actually kind of upset you, like, wow, she actually leaving.
Yeah, right. So at that time, I was taken aback by it. Like, well, why would she leave? Like, but then again, I felt like, and I could be wrong, but I felt like, she was going through what she was going through with everybody else, right?
Right.
And me and her still had our friendship.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like once she seen that I did what I did, she felt like it was gone. Like, I don't got nobody, and then she gonna switch on me. I felt like that was like the determining factor for her. So I think that I was very, like I said, oblivious at that time of what really was going on and the impact as well as the relationships that I had with people. And I was just like, wow, why would she leave? I didn't think she would leave, though. I really didn't. I thought this was just, she would brush this shit off or whatever, let it go. Especially that her friends was here, too. Mm-hmm. So I really was surprised when she left. I really didn't expect that. But then again, looking back on it, I could see why. That shit is stressful. That's a lot of pressure to be under, all the time. It's a lot of wishy-washy shit. One day you don't know if niggas might be your friends. You don't know if you might have to fight them. It's a lot. And people think that shit is all cracked up, to be on television and to do the Bad Girls Club. But it is a lot on your mental and emotional being.
Right. And I also want to go back to the fighting thing again, too. So after these fights, were y'all ever worried that, this person probably finna go home, or, I might end up going home? Like, for example, after your fight with Janelle at the door, did you have anything in your head like, oh, shit, I'm probably finna go home for doing that?
No, I didn't think I was gonna go home for that at all. I didn't think about that. So I didn't think about it.
So y'all kind of knew how to fight in order to...
I was just with whatever, but I just know that me personally, I'm not one of those females that because there's really chicks out here that fight you and they really want to cause bodily harm. Like, they want to bite, they want to bite, they want to raise hell. Right. I'm just like, we get it on, we fight, we punch each other, knot each other up real quick. I'm with that. It is what it is. But I'm not really trying to I'm not out here trying to, like, even back then, I'm not out here trying to, like, deform somebody and cause bodily harm and, like, leave you with a mark that will last you. Like, I just think that, like, it's too deep. Like, it's not that serious. Like, we a whole bunch of females being catty. Let's get it on. Leave it alone. So I never was thinking in my head, like, well, let me take it a little easy so I don't go home. But I knew that I wasn't going to take my shoe off and try to bust a bitch upside her head with a heel at the same time.
Right. So then after Shanae leaves, I think I think she was the last replacement, and Haley replaced Shanae. Right, yeah, Haley replaced Shanae. Excuse me, I think I skipped over one.
We had another replacement?
I know, because I think one girl didn't have a replacement, and that was Andrea. Andrea didn't have a replacement, but Shanae did, because Haley replaced Shanae. But remember, Andrea left after Shanae did, and she left before Haley came in. Right. So okay, Haley joins the house or whatever. And I noticed y'all were just kind of over it at this point. Like,
that's exactly what we were.
Like, here we go, another girl. Looking back,
but they told us they was gonna bring another one. Though they asked us, they gave us an option.
Okay. And the options were
so we're only a few days left, because we was literally a few days left in the season, and he was like, we can either bring a new girl in, or we can just let y'all, ride y'all season out. But we're still gonna have to, like, keep it amped up. So I was just like, well, we all vibing right now. Like, it's really no static between us. So we should just, if we keep it between us, I guess this last episode or two is gonna be trash. So I was thinking in my head, bring somebody new in and see what she's bringing in. And I think that's why Haley came. because we chose to have a replacement.
Okay, then. So, when she got there, was she annoying to y'all? Like, I'm talking about before the club stuff. Like, just her walking in and introducing herself and everything. Was she already annoying to y'all, or?
Okay, so, it's petty. But I forgot who came up to us. But somebody came up to us and had this plan to, like, be mean to the new girl. Like, when she come in, don't speak to her, ignore her. And in my head, I felt like that was corny. I was like, well, why would we do that to her? Like, that's not right. I feel like now we looking for problems. I think some people agree with it. I know I wasn't really with it, but when she came in, you know, I said hi, you know, but people really wasn't, like, speaking to her. And I think that is what created the dynamic right then and there. People feeling like they was over it. They wasn't ready to meet nobody new. And she just had to earn her way in here, I guess.
Right,
because,
right.
Yeah.
So, after the club, she, y'all felt very embarrassed to get home, and she throws up in the corner. I know Benzie them and everybody. Yeah, and all the other girls, they were saying like, wow, like this stuff really stunk up the house. Was it really bad? Like it really stunk up?
It was bad. It was bad. Like you smelled it up the steps. Like literally, like when I'm upstairs, like what is that? Like you know how you smell something a little bit, you like, wait, maybe did I just
right.
Did I just throw up in my mouth or something real quick? But like when you went downstairs, it hit you, but I didn't know where it was at. Like I just knew something happened, but I just didn't know exactly what was happening until they was like she threw up. I didn't think it was that deep, honestly. I felt like she threw up. She's drunk. She's sick. That's how I was feeling about it from the beginning.
Right. Like, were you expecting Jasmine A to be so heated and like ready to fight her like that?
No, I thought it was a lie, but, you know, at that time, I'm like, fuck it, that's my friend. I'm going to ride out with her. But I just felt like I said, at this point, it's no excuse because I still feel like it really was no legitimate reason to treat her like that. But I just felt like at that time, everybody was just looking for a reason. And that throw up was the reason.
Right. Right. But yeah, so... You know, the fans' reaction to this fight, I guess it was very different for them since, you know, y'all's season is very different from any other season. There's never been a season like that ever again, you know. Y'all kept it up, you know, y'all turned it up, I guess, you know. Y'all always had something going on, you know. You know, we
had something going on.
Yeah, we didn't have to worry about getting tired of looking at a certain face because there was always a new face the next week. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, but yeah, this fight was it was a very big thing. I know production was very upset about this fight.
Very.
So afterwards, how did they handle y'all when everything was said and done and production had, you know?
So we had the big dogs. So, you know, you got the regular producers, you got Brad, you got Shane, you know. They you know, they're like your babysitters, you know, for the most part.
Yes, I love that.
You got your parents that come through and you know, your parents, they're always on vacation, you're always with the babysitter, and then when your parents come and you did something wrong, you know that you're in real big trouble. So that's what happened. They came early in the morning. And they basically was like, that was nasty. That was ugly. That was horrible. That's not why they have this show. And we all got fined, number one. That's why I was tight at the time. I was like, now you fucking with my bread. So I was really upset. That's why Trish was like, well, Tiana, do you have an issue? You got a problem? Because in my head, too, like I told you earlier, I just felt like, you know, not that it was justified to beat that girl up like that at all. That was bad. But like at the same time, I felt like they went hard on us, like we was these animals. But I'm like, these are the same human beings that you got out of urban situations. So the same way I give it up back at home, like I come from situations where, like like we jumping each other in school. Like I got a beef with a girl, and she see me after school, and she with her friend. They jumping me. They not giving me the one on like hold back. Let me, you feel me? So it wasn't like it wasn't, and I felt more so attacked because I felt like y'all was trying to make it seem like I did this for TV or I did what I did, you know, to be like a follower. But I just felt like that's something I would have did when I was at home. You know, like Jazz Monet, I was bad. She cracked her. She cracked Jazz when she hit her. She caught her eye, like she caught her on her face, like really, 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 like it was a good shot. So when I seen Jazz, I'm thinking Jazz is gassing it. When I seen her eye, when she took that shit off her eye, it was just like, oh, you know, I just felt like I gotta go ride out with my friend at that time. But like I said, it was nasty. It was really bad, and they were highly upset.
Yeah. So how long was that whole fight?
So it was 2 rounds. So it was I would say her and Jazz Monet fight lasted like, you know how fights when you're in it feels like it's forever, but like when you really look back on it, it's only like a few seconds. Right. Her and Jazz Monet fight didn't last that long. Now the jump that lasted, I want to say about 10 minutes.
Okay. And was it because girls kept coming back, or?
Yes, that's why. Like one person would get off of her, and soon as security got one off of her, it was 1 more, 2 more on her. They get them 1 or 2 off. Somebody else come in, they jumping on her. They got people. They got security dragging us outside. Security bringing us in the back in the kitchen. It was a lot going on, and she's shaking her ass the whole time.
Right, and I wanted you to kind of settle this for the fans, because some fans are saying, "Oh, Stephanie wasn't in that fight," and then other fans are saying, "Yes, she was. I saw her."
She jumped in.
So so Stephanie was in the fight. Yeah, okay.
And you want to know why I know she jumped in? Because when they was carrying her, let me tell you something. Because she tried to do that on the show too. Like, well, I really was trying to, you know, that was a lot of the funny stuff that I felt about her. But I seen what I seen. So we was all, you know how we got that back door to the pool?
Right.
She was like, they was carrying Haley out. And when they was carrying her literally on the guy's shoulders, she came and she swung on her. And this is outside when we at the door. So it really wasn't no breaking it up. You feel me? Like, so my thing is, if that's what happened, sis, that's what happened. You live, you learn. That don't necessarily define who you are today, but like living your truth.
Right. So, okay, yeah. So then after that, and then production talked to y'all and everything. I remember you had asked how much the fine was, and she was like, "You'll find out." And you was like, "Oh, brother." So how much really was the fine?
I think it was like $150.
Okay, then.
Yeah.
Well, that's not too bad.
That's not too bad, but when they only giving you $500 a week to, like, you know, survive off of, even though they had a car that we drove. I mean, I wasn't driving at the time. We still had to pay for everything else, you feel me? The only things we didn't have to pay for was like when we went to a club. But maintenance, nails done, hair done, everything did, laundry, all of that came out of our pocket.
Okay, then. So it's basically kind of like it's y'all house. Y'all taking care of y'allself.
Right.
Okay, then. So I remember you and Jasmine, they were talking about y'all were leaving. Y'all really gonna leave?
We was. Because we had made this, like, this, you know, how you say, what do you call it? Like when you and your friend make this, like, agreement, I want to call it this, like, agreement, that if one left, you know, we was going to leave because we wasn't going to let them, like, try to play us and make us seem like we're these bad guys. But right. I just thought, you know, after a while, you know, when you sat back and thought about it, it's just like, well, we got this much time left. We was wrong, especially me. So what the fuck we going home for now? But I know, you know what? It was my pride in a way, because I felt like they was just calling me out. and like I was just this bad person, and I was already feeling bad about myself. And then when I got called out, I was just like, you know what, fuck it, I'm ready to go. Instead of like, just being, just facing my problem, facing the issue head on, and just being like, all right, I was wrong, y'all got it.
Right. And also during that whole jumping situation, was security getting angry that y'all kept coming back, or were they just doing their job?
You can tell they get angry when they hold you a certain way. So I remember, I forgot what fight this was, and I actually think it was the fight with Haley. And this one security, he was really frustrated, and he was like holding me like I couldn't breathe. So I started like fighting him. Like that's why I think it started getting really hectic. Like I was popping on security. Like, and I think, like, when you ask that question, and I believe that's why he was handling me like that, because he was like, you need to calm the fuck down. But he was aggressive with me, and I feel like you have a job still. You're not here to take it personal. I know it can be frustrating, but now you're trying to cause me bodily harm. Like, you feel me?
Right. And one thing I do notice after this season, even though a lot of y'all were involved in a lot of the, stuff that happened, Gigi catches most of the heat. Like, the fans... They've been able to forgive most of y'all, but a lot of them literally still to this day cannot stand Gigi because they feel like every fight that happened, Gigi wanted to be a part of it. So I want to know, what's your opinion on that? Like, do you kind of think they're doing too much? Like,
I just think that fans should just watch the show, feel how they feel about it in that moment, but not take it personally.
Okay.
I think there's a fine line between taking shit personal, like I slapped your grandmother, than just being like, it's a show. It's also like a fucking, like, it's a social experiment if you really think about it. Like, you're taking 7 strangers, putting them into a house, a controlled environment. That's how it should be looked at. So I just think that that's really my opinion on it. Like, you cannot say what you would have done and what you wouldn't have done when you didn't live that experience. So everybody could be like, well, I would have did it this way, I would have did it that way, but you wasn't there, and you not me.
Right.
So, I just feel like fuck with me or whoever else on the show because you genuinely fuck with them and what they about and their personality or whatever. But to really like take shit personal and be hating people because of what they did on a show, it's just like, it's a bit much. But I'm only saying that because, I was on TV and maybe my opinion is biased. But that's just really how I feel about it. Like, we are human beings. We live, we learn, we make mistakes.
Right. So, y'all all say your goodbyes and y'all get ready and leave. How did it feel leaving?
It was sad because, nobody wants to leave that experience, but at the same time it was a little like a sigh of relief because you're not in that controlled environment anymore. You can just be free, do you, without feeling like you gotta have your mic on, you can't talk without this, you gotta wear that, you can't wear this, you can't say that, so right. It's ambivalent.
Well, that's good then. So then you get to the reunion. I want to know how many months after, like, y'all left did y'all film the reunion?
So we got off the show a few days after my birthday, April, and I would say we did the reunion like a month later.
Wow, only a month?
Maybe a month, or I want to say a month. I believe it was a month, maybe 2, but it wasn't no more than 3. We did it. It was like this. It was fast.
Okay, so tensions were still high then, but
yeah.
Okay, but I know I had heard something that about the reason why Benzie was so mad with Shanae was because of an interview she did with A Connection TV. So that's why I was like, okay, so they had time in between to watch interviews. You feel what I'm saying? So that's why.
Right.
Yeah. So that's why I was like, only a month.
Yeah, it wasn't that long because, all right, so we left April, May, June. You know what? I could literally, all right, so, because I like being correct. I don't like giving no false information. But I really do. I don't think it was no more than 2 months. I really don't think it was.
Okay. So, what was your reunion experience like for you?
It was like it was really cool. I was ready for whatever. I knew people was gonna feel some type of way. I was expecting Janelle to come and try to like redeem herself.
Okay.
But I didn't think nobody was gonna try to like. I really didn't think nobody was gonna try to come for me though. That's the funny thing. Like I wasn't going in there worried.
Okay then. Okay. So you thought the only person you were probably gonna have to fight is Janelle.
Janelle, and you know what? And I thought Shanae might feel some type of way too. But like I said.
I think sometimes you could go based on how they're dressed, though. Like, Shanae wasn't really dressed to fight.
That's funny you say that. Excuse me. She wasn't, but when you're heading to the reunion, like you don't really know nobody's outfit. So when you're heading to that reunion, in your head you bringing up all the shit that done transpired.
Right.
So I'm thinking like, I did jump in that fight with Shanae, so
right. So
she might feel some type of way.
Right. So did Tanisha feel any type of way about the way y'all were in the house? Like, did she voice that to y'all? Like, hey, I'm just letting y'all know I didn't like that y'all did this or anything.
Yeah, when she came to our room, she did say that. She was like, we from New York, with me and her, and she like. I know how we give it up, but she was just like, I ain't feel like y'all had to, do certain things. But I feel like Tanisha's always been very vocal and honest about how she feels, so she don't really sugarcoat shit. So she definitely did express, how she felt about, certain things that transpired. Very, very vocal about it.
Right. Yeah, 'cause I know she had a lot to say about, Gigi's behavior in the house or whatever like that. And that actually kind of made Jasmine feel some type of way about Tanisha because she had something to say about what Gigi had done in the house. But do you feel like Tanisha was justified in telling Gigi, like, hey, you don't hit somebody when somebody else is fighting them?
Say that one more time.
I said, do you feel like Tanisha was justified in telling her, you ain't supposed to be hitting somebody when somebody else is fighting them?
Do I feel like she was wrong for that?
Like, justified, like she was right for saying it, like she was supposed to say it.
Yeah, I do. I really do. I feel like her being, like, Tanisha's like the godmother, of it. So I feel like if anybody could say something, about her perception on things, I feel like we should sit back and listen to what she had to say because she ain't saying nothing wrong.
Right. So, yeah, get out there and everything. And the first topic that they bring up at the reunion was the Haley situation. Did they show the full altercation on the TVs? I know they showed it to us like that. But I was wondering, like, do y'all see it differently? Did you see it differently at the reunion? Or
No, they show us the same... The same thing that y'all see is the same thing that they show us. No unedited. I would love to see that. Okay,
so when that fight comes up on the screen and y'all are watching it or whatever, what was the audience's reaction? Like, were they mad? Were they...
They were mad, and they were also like, it was a lot of... Everybody was really... I knew that was going to happen, though. I knew people was like, especially that scene. I knew people was like, if people ain't fuck with me before, I knew that right there was like going to seal the deal right there. So I wasn't surprised by those reactions at all.
Right. Was anybody in the audience like talking shit, or were the audience members just chilling?
That's what they do.
Yeah, because I know
they loved Sarah. They loved Sarah. So, like... Them feeling that way about her is just like they had little sly remarks. So you really can't pay that shit no mind, really. Like, you really gotta ignore that.
Right, because I know there have been instances at reunions where the girls actually end up fighting the audience members because, they just keep on.
They do a lot.
Yes. So, then y'all at the reunion, and I think y'all got on the Shanae situation before... Janelle comes out. No, it was after. So Janelle comes out. She sits down, and y'all like, okay, yo, we looking all right. You know what I'm saying? Y'all saying y'all little things or whatever. And then she starts taking off her shoes. So, and I noticed you had got up. You was like, how you feeling? So, were you really expecting her to have that type of energy?
I mean, I wasn't, but I was ready for whatever that she
Right.
wanted because I know she felt some type of way. And you want to know something? So while we were backstage, before we even came out on stage, I forgot how we found out. Oh, okay. So somebody had a room next to Sarah and Janelle's room. So I believe they were in the room together. And they overheard them saying that Janelle had bleach for me because, you know, Janelle talks about my skin discoloration on my face.
Right.
She has talked about that. So she had bleach. So I already had, you know, expectations of her coming out with a prop to try to play me. So I was already ready for it when she came out. So I already knew that that's the type of time she was coming out on. Why she even came out with the shoes on threw me off because I'm like, you already back there saying you got all this and this and this and that, so you need to be ready to fight. But I guess she either she didn't get a chance to do it, or I felt like she thought about her actions before she did it.
Right. I know. I remember when I was speaking with one of the producers, they were talking about one of their original plans was to do this thing called Bad Girls Revenge. However, they ended up scrapping the idea, but they ended up using it in All-Star Battle 2, where they bring certain girls back on the last episode, kind of like how they did season 9 where they brought the 4 girls back.
Megan and Andrea and all that.
Right. And they were planning on doing that with 10, and they didn't do it. And then they definitely wanted to do it with 11. So it was going to be Sarah, Janelle, Shanae, and Andrea. And they were going to come back and kind of, you know, get their revenge or whatever, something like that. You know how they do it.
Right.
What do you think your reaction would have been had all of them came back or whatever, ready to fight?
I just would have popped. That would have been my first reaction, to just fight. I would have never talked. I just feel like those type of situations, that's not what y'all coming back for revenge, right? I already seen season 9, so I know that y'all not coming back. If that was me personally, if I'm coming back for revenge, I'm not coming back to talk to nobody, especially if I feel like y'all violated. So that would have been my first reaction. Like, fuck is we sitting here talking about? Y'all came here to do what? Let's do it. Like, it's no reason to talk. And that's how I was feeling like when Janelle came out. Like, you know, like you came out, you said you was going to do this, you was going to do that. Like, let's get it out the way.
Right. So, with that fight with Sarah and Gigi or whatever like that, how did you feel about Gigi fighting her standing up on the couch? Because a lot of the fans felt like it wasn't a fair fight since Gigi was on the couch.
Everybody, all right, number one, I didn't want them fighting in the first place. My thing is this. I felt like her and Sarah could have been left that shit alone. Even if they didn't have to be friends, that shit could have been left alone. So, that was number one. Number two, like I said, there's no rules to fighting. But number one rule is that when you know you got beef with somebody, when you're around that person, you need to be on point at all times. Period. So, everybody want to talk about fair is fair, right is right, wrong is wrong. When Sarah knew that she was running down on her with that shirt to be disrespectful and rude, especially knowing that her and Gigi already went there and the type of person that she was dealing with, Sarah should have been expecting her to pop. So her standing up on the couch don't mean nothing. Like, there's no rules to this fight and shit. Like, so I just felt like she should have never, if that's the case, Sarah should have never even allowed her to stand up when she walked over there. If Sarah was going to do what she was going to do, she should have ran over and popped on her in the first place, and then it would have been, oh, why Sarah ran? You know, I just think that it's no wrong or right. Everybody is always going to have an opinion, but I just feel like when you got beef, you just got to be on point. It is what it is.
Right, and speaking of running up and popping, so I remember you had ran up on Janelle at the reunion.
Let's talk about that.
And I'm wondering,
I'm not trying to cut you off, but I've been waiting for that because people, the way they edited that, it made me look very insensitive. It made me look like she was crying, and I didn't care that she was crying. I didn't care. But that I didn't care that she was crying, and I just hit her for no reason. So what they edited out was, alright, so after Jasmine Monet did what she did to her,
right,
we was all sitting on stage. And Janelle had, so she had, like, okay, Janelle had said what she said, but she also tried to fight me. So me and her almost got into it, but they broke it up. So that that's why when you watch the scene, like when you go back and watch it, I'm already on the edge of my seat. I'm already feeling some type of way. I'm not just feeling some type of way because Janelle is talking. I'm feeling some type of way because she tried to pop on me before this. So in my head, I'm sitting on the edge of my seat and I'm plotting when I'm gonna run over and hit her. So that's what happened. Like, so I can't really like reiterate exactly how it happened, but I know that we was talking about something. She tried to pop on me. It didn't work out. So now I felt some type of way about that. And then she started, and then after she did that, the scene picks back up, and she's on the scene talking about I ain't really all of that. So that right there really like egged me up. So yes, I did run over and tried to take her wig off her head. I really did. Tried to take her head off her shoulders.
Yeah, she was like, from the moment that I walked up in the house, bitches decided that they just weren't gonna like me, period. And then right when she said period, you had got up and ran. And did you connect? Because I noticed you had... Yes.
I connected.
Okay.
No, you, Patty, you said, did you connect?
No, because I mean, like, girl, when you be watching these fights, you never know. Like,
You're right.
Because
I did.
Yeah, because I noticed you ran over, and then she had ended up being pulled over the couch, and you was on the other side. So did you like just hold on, and then you fell over on the side?
Yeah. So like when security be on you so like security be on you crazy, but like when I actually got her, so like when I hit her and I actually like got to grip her, I just was holding on to her head so I could get a grip, and security was pulling me. So and then like when the way they hold you can't really swing too much. So now I'm just trying to like rip the wig off her head. Like I'm just trying to like pull that off her head to bring her with me. But that was the end result of that. Right.
Because I know when you went back there, you really couldn't see. You couldn't see nothing because a bunch of security, they was back there and they was covering you.
Yeah, so, they was doing a lot.
But then you notice Jasmine, they comes running from the back, and then she tries to kill me. So then after that, you get pulled up, and Janelle is taken to the back. And I want to know, like, usually after these fights, they kind of wait a minute and let y'all cool down before they start back asking questions again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they talk to you back there, feed you a little bit more liquor, and then bring your ass back out on stage.
Okay, yeah. All right, and then she comes back out with Sarah. She was actually really upset that happened. And, she started crying, and then Sarah was like, well, I got you. They're not finna fuck with you like that. Not while I'm here. So they all come back out. And, they were talking about the jumping situation, and Sarah said, Sarah said, I felt like I got jumped, and Jasmine was like, Sarah, you did not get jumped. And she was like, how the hell did I not get jumped? So I want to know your opinion. Do you think Sarah got jumped?
If I'm talking street law, I don't think she got jumped.
Okay.
But if we talking morally, like principle-wise, she did, because more than one person was trying to... more than one person grabbed her hair. Now, to me, jumping, and my definition of a jump is you getting hands and feet put on you simultaneously at one time by multiple people. And I don't think that necessarily happened to her. But I could be wrong.
Okay.
You know what? Honestly, I don't, like I said, streetwise, I don't think she got jumped, because I feel like Haley got jumped. That was a jump.
Okay.
We literally jumped Haley. What is your opinion? Since you want to act, what do you think? You think Sarah got jumped?
I think Sarah got jumped. That's my opinion.
You think she did?
I feel like she did, because I feel like, for example, with that situation with you, when you had popped on Sarah and y'all started fighting, and then Mimi and Gigi ran over there, and they grabbed hold of her. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see that, because it was two people on her at that time. So,
right. All right. Yeah. Because it started out with... Yeah, because it started out with y'all.
I don't think I necessarily jumped her.
Right. So... But, so then, the reunion ends with. Oh yeah, and speaking of that, I want to mention one more thing. So with the Benzie and Shanae fight or whatever, was that expected for you? Because that was actually really cut up. It seems like it seems like Shanae interrupted her and she got up and hit her. But if you watch another thing, it looks like she just got up and hit her. So I want to know, how did that?
What I feel like is this. I was on Twitter at the time actively, and I seen the post between her and Shanae. So what I assumed from them going back and forth was, and from what Benzie said, when they seen each other, it was on site.
Okay.
So me being from New York, Benzie being from New York, I knew what that meant, and I didn't think Benzie was playing. So at the reunion, I felt like Shanae should have been on point too. That's just my opinion about it, because she told her when she seen her, it was static, and then Benzie, the way Benzie was moving and acting, you could tell that that's what she wanted.
Right.
I think for not people, but for Shanae to have been surprised, maybe I just think everybody deal with beef differently. But if I was her, I would have already been on my P's and Q's, because I would have known that she said what she said and she feels some type of way.
Right. So after the reunion or whatever, excuse me, let me just mention this too, because a fan wanted me to ask about this. So after the show, Stephanie and Gigi actually fell out, and there was a rumor that
they fought.
Yeah, there was a rumor that they had fought, or Gigi and her friend jumped Stephanie. So
all right, Gigi ain't gotta jump Stephanie. Period. She don't have to jump her.
Okay, so I want to know what you know about that, because I'm
not gonna get into details, but I do know that they fought.
Okay.
They fought for a fact. I just feel like you just gotta move accordingly with your friendships, and everybody be looking for clout. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what it more so was about with the whole thing. But
okay,
Stephanie got what she asked for.
Okay, are you still cool with Gigi and Stephanie?
Yeah, I don't speak to Stephanie. Gigi, yes.
Okay. So,
me and Stephanie haven't spoken since the show.
Okay. So, moving on to All-Star Battle. How long after the reunion did you get the call for All-Star Battle?
I got the call. It was that same year, but later in the year. So I want to say about September. Okay,
and did you already know that the show did spin-offs? Like, did you already know Bad Girls Club did spin-offs before you did the show?
I think I had seen All-Star Battle. I think I did see All-Star Battle already.
Okay, and did you see Love Games?
I seen an episode or two, but I never watched in its entirety.
Okay then, because I was going to ask you if they ever mentioned that to you or asked you to do Love Games or something like that.
No, they did ask me to do Redemption, but I'm not Love Games.
Girl, yes, I was waiting to get to that. I'm going to get to that in a second, girl. But, yeah, so All-Star Battle. What was your reaction to that call? I
was hyped. I was surprised they even called me. I was hyped, but I also was a little discouraged, because I'm like, my ass do not work out. I hope Rocky ain't on him. That was my first two thoughts. All right, that's exactly what I thought at the time. But I was hyped to be on TV again, of course.
All right now, girl. So, did you kind of know who got asked, or do you know all from your season who got asked?
Okay, so I forgot how we started going around talking, but I know me and Sarah started linking, talking. Eventually, we wasn't really cool or whatever, but me and her started chopping it up, and that's why I said God works in very mysterious ways, and when you stay loyal and true to who you are and your people, you always come out on top. So me and Sarah, like I said, after the reunion or whatever, me and her really didn't hang out like that,
right,
or at all for that matter, but it wasn't no beef with us. But she did hit me up, and she was like, I heard you're going to be on the show. So me and her was talking, and I was like, look, listen, what we should do is, me and her, we agreed that we're going to stay loyal to one another, We're not gonna throw each other in or whatever the case may be. And it worked out exactly how we wanted it to.
Girl, yes, it did come through. Yes, it did. The final two. The final two. So I'm going to tell y'all, no, period, though, Tiana, because y'all did that shit, though.
Yeah, we did.
Y'all really
I ain't gonna
did.
lie. We did. We did.
Like,
we really did.
Like, y'all set it stone and then made it to final two. Like, what?
Yeah, we did. Like, that's why it was so crazy for us at the end. Like, if she would have won, I would have won. It was whatever. But for us two to like make it that far,
yes,
it was crazy. It was crazy.
It was crazy. So, did Jasmine get called? Do you know if she got called for All Star Battle too?
I don't remember. I don't want to say yes. I don't want to say no. I feel like she did, but I feel like me and her had a conversation about it. But I definitely don't remember.
Okay, and the reason
I thought she would have though. That's the thing. I thought if anybody, it would have been like me and her. So I was really like, I was confused. I don't know why.
Okay then. Because I feel like, because I usually ask the girls this because, sometimes they communicate and they're like, hey, did you get called for this? Because they just called me to do this. You know what I'm saying? So.
Right, we did. But you want to know, like, I don't remember if she got called or not, but I feel like she did. But, like I said, if I'm not really, concrete in my answer, I don't like just giving out answers and being confident in them, and I know that I don't really know, so that's why I'm like,
right,
yeah.
Okay then, so getting to the house, was there any bad girls that you were kind of like really happy to see, like, oh my god, I love this girl on her season?
I really was hype about let me see. I'm trying to think because the only people that I really loved was motherfucking Natalie Nunn on my seat when I was like a fan of Bad Girls Club.
Mm-hmm.
It was like Natalie Nunn. I don't think I was like fangirling on it. Like Amy. It was really shocking to see Amy. Like I was hyped to see Amy. I was excited for her, honestly.
Okay.
But and Rocky, it was and Rocky. I was looking forward to meeting Rocky, but other than that,
okay, so you weren't like a big Megan fan then.
I fuck with Megan because she get it on. Like I fucked with her because of that. But I wasn't fangirling because like
right.
Megan, oh my god. I think I would have been like I don't think I would have gave Natalie that energy, but I think in my head I would have been like, oh wow, like this bitch is here. Like, but yeah, for the most part, nah, not really.
Right, okay. So maneuvering through the game, we get to the Bad Girls Revenge twist, and Camila ends up going home, and she feels like, oh, and speaking of that, before I get to that, I remember on the show you kind of had a problem with Elise because you felt like Elise was playing for the other team to win. And you were like, I really want to put hands on her right now because I don't respect the way that she's playing. So looking back on that, do you still feel like that?
Yeah, I still feel like that because I feel like she was playing a coward game. Like you wasn't doing what you was doing because it was best fit for your game. You was doing what you was doing because you was scared.
Okay.
You was truly scared, and only God would gotta come down and correct me because I truly feel like that. Okay. You was scared of Camilla. You didn't want no static with her. So you felt like, maybe if I can't beat her, let me join her and do what it is that she and her team wants me to do so I can be cool and maybe it'll work out in my favor. Okay. Which was fucking idiotic. But, okay.
Okay, then. So, then we get to the Bad Girls Revenge twist and Camila actually gets sent home and she felt like Elise betrayed her. And as she was leaving, she grabs hold of Elise and, I want to know, was that very shocking to be around in person? Like, was it really, like that? Or did you kind of feel like, oh, she's finna pop on this bitch before she leaves?
I knew it. We told her. We told her, listen, we had a talk with Elise. And the talk was basically, we knew we had to stroke her ego and make her feel like she was a part of the team, because this is what we was talking about. Like me, Shelly, Sarah, Rocky, we was always like, listen, even though, especially me, Tiana, we know you don't like her, but we gotta be nice to her. We gotta make her feel like, she's a part of the team. She's wanted, even if we don't fuck with her, because we do need her. But we needed her to switch her vote, because we knew that this was a time right now to get Camila out, and it was her vote that would be the determining factor. So we sat down with her and told her, like, listen, we understand the dynamic of your relationship with Camila, but like, truthfully, she, like, she using you. Like, that's really how we brought it to her. Like, listen, we really your team. Like, we really have been winning. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, so why would you want to go? That this really was just the talk that we was having with her. We really didn't know what she was going to do. Now, we was hoping for the best and expecting the worst. Now, they put you on the line, like, before we go in. You know how, like, we come into the what you call that room? The elimination room. We come into there. So we're standing outside, and she's, like, right next to me on the line. And I'm telling her, like, you got to do what you got to do, but be on your P's and Q's, because she is going to hit you if you don't, if you choose against her. And we just knew it was going to happen. Me and Rocky sitting there telling, I think it was me and somebody was sitting next to her, like, watch out. When she was coming over and she was pointing at her ass, we like, she about to hit you, stand the fuck up. She ain't want to get up.
Oh my God. I remember she did an interview with Wesley, and she was like, one of the girls was like, watch what happens. And I think she was talking about you.
What she said?
She was like, one of the girls was like, watch this.
Oh, I knew she was going. I knew it. But
It's crazy, man. I mean, on All-Star Battle, was it like it was in Bad Girls Club, where you just couldn't fight so severe, or where they weren't playing that fight and shit?
You couldn't fight at all.
Yeah, so that's why it confused a lot of fans when her and Elise got into that little scuffle outside when she was throwing her stuff.
But you gotta remember, when you have fan favorites, you gotta maneuver with them a little differently and delicately, because I feel like it's no longer about liabilities. It's about business now and what's gonna make money. And they know that it's crucial right now in the game, to send Camila home, because she put her hands on Elise. Right. That's my opinion. That's what I honestly and truthfully think about it. Right, because right. I've been feeling like, we know what Camila is hitting for. We know that she's problematic. That's my opinion. So right. I feel like they knew what to expect, because we even felt like that in the house after she hit her. We thought that was like she was going to go home, but once she didn't, we knew what it was.
Right. So, y'all at the final challenge, and girl, you end up winning. Looking back on that, what was that like? It was crazy, honestly. Because that night before, I was packing my bags to go home, literally, and they showed like a very, very, very quick clip of me in the closet crying, talking to one of the producers, because I was literally like packing my stuff. I was like, that's when I went into the confessional, and I was crying, and I feel like a loser. And they have these storytellers that is a part of the show, which is like different than Bad Girls. Just the regular show. Also, they have these like storytellers who have to like tell a story, basically, and it's a woman and a man. And when I was speaking to them in the confessional, they would always be like, Tiana, like, just wait, like, you know what I'm saying, like, and it never really like registered to me. But when they always showed us the challenges before they filmed them. So when they took us around to those challenges, Megan said it. She was like, Tiana, this is you right here. She said it. She said, I'm not going to get these puzzles. They did these puzzles exactly for you. And I'm like, in my head, I always do puzzles and shit like on my phone and stuff like that, but I really wasn't thinking too much about it. Like, oh, all right, yeah. But them shits right there, like, it was a piece of cake. Like, those
puzzles was like, and me and Sarah was on each other. Like, we was on each other's heels with that right there. If it wasn't for that, if it wasn't for that third one, like, I think we had to, like, put I forgot what it was, but it was like a color type thing we had to do. If it wasn't for that, oh my God.
Right, and I know a lot of the fans say that you redeemed yourself this season, because a lot of the fans will be like, I couldn't stand Tiana on 11, but I fell in love with her on All-Star Battle.
I'm happy that they did, because listen, my thing is this. I believe that a lot of people, if they hung out with me and actually got to know me, they would like me, and I think a lot of people say that, but I just think I'm a very personable person. But when I'm in a situation like being on the Bad Girls Club, I feel like that's a situation where it's eat or be eaten.
Right.
And I'm not nobody dog food, so it's over.
Right. How long after you won did you get your check? Did you get your check the day you won, or?
No, you only get the only check you get the day that you leave the show is the check that you get for being there every day.
The participation check, yeah.
Yes, so that's the only check you get. They print it out right then and there, give you your money. I had to wait until next year after the reunion to get my check.
Damn. How much taxes did they take out of your check, if you don't mind me asking?
So it was 20,000 plus.
Okay, so you basically kind of got back 80-some thousand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the number one question from the fans is, what did you do with your money, honey?
Okay, so all right. Now let me get into this.
Okay.
I think that, all right, let me answer the question first and foremost. I didn't do what it was that I needed to do with my money. And that's why I am at the point in my life where I'm trying to repair and get things back on track.
Okay.
Because I believe that my lack of knowledge with just maintaining money really came into effect when I actually got it. I didn't have no real plan for it, which I should have.
Right.
And I believe that with me not having no plan, I failed, period. And I believe that was the hardest thing to ever get over, was accepting the fact that I did these television shows, I succeeded. You know, I just succeeded at participating in them and being who I was. And then also for me to win that money and to be back to like square one, I think that it had a huge effect on my like mental. So that's why when I, started the interview off, and I was like, I've been on this like emotional roller coaster. It has really taken a toll on me. Because I didn't do what I needed to do with it. So right now I'm in the stage of my life where I'm trying to like pick up the pieces and get my shit back in order, so I don't ever be in this position that I am again.
Right. So you kind of just went regular with it, just spending it like regular, like not really trying to do nothing with it.
Yeah, I didn't do anything with it. Like, I didn't invest it in any like business. I didn't, what I really, and it's not even like I went and brought bags, shoes, like, I really just think that I was just carelessly spending and helping out my family and, living life, right, and not really thinking about longevity.
Okay.
So that's what made me really like hide. I felt like I needed to hide from everybody to hide the fact that I fucked up.
Right. Mm-hmm. So is that one of the reasons why you didn't do Redemption?
Oh no. So Redemption happened simultaneously. Like, they called me a few months after I did All-Star Battle and asked me to do Redemption. I felt like they didn't pick me for Redemption, number one, because they already knew the All-Star cast that they wanted. And I'm not saying that I didn't fit in that, but I also felt like they looked at it like I just won the money. I just did All-Star. I just did BGC11. So that's really how I was looking at it, because I did the whole interview process and everything, and they curved me. So I was a little upset about it, but...
So you feel like they kind of like said, like her storyline's over. She did one season, she redeemed herself, she won, I
felt like I sort of kind of felt like that. I felt like that was the main reason, but I also felt like they already had their lineup.
Right.
Like Sarah, Rocky, Natalie, and I honestly think it happened the way it was supposed to, because Lord knows how I would have been handling shit on that season, because that was a lot for me too, just watching that shit.
Right. So, after everything was said and done, you ended up having a child and everything. How is she, honey?
My daughter, thanks for asking. I really appreciate that. My daughter is amazing. She's 4 going on 14. But she's very intelligent. She's very intelligent. Awesome. And getting older, and she's actually like my birth control, because I don't plan on having no more.
Right. Girl, let me tell you something. She is so adorable. I love it when you post her.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
She is so cute. Oh, my goodness.
That's my baby.
Yeah. So, looking back on everything, do you have any regrets from both your seasons?
I have regrets on, like I said, I have regrets on the way, I was trying to be super saver hoe.
Right.
And I also regret, not being a friend for Shanae when I should have been there for her.
Right. And how did you and Janelle ended up kind of squashing your stuff on All-Star Battle? Because I know the fans noticed y'all didn't really have much interaction, but on the All-Star Battle reunion, y'all were pretty much good. So I want to know how that kind of,
Well, me personally, I'm big on communication, and I don't like walking around people and I feel like we got beef, number one.
Right.
So I went up to her, and I more so just felt like, what happened on All-Star, not All-Star, but 11, we did what we did. And you feel me? Like, at this point, and she's really funny. That's the funny thing. Like, she really genuinely used to make me laugh. I think she's a hilarious girl.
Right.
And I started really looking back on it, and I was just like, you know what? Maybe I was a bit too hard on her, and it's not even that deep. So I just felt like, let me and her come to understanding. We ain't got to be friends. We ain't got to be besties, but we don't got to have beef neither. You feel me?
Right.
And this game is also about strategy as well. So, I was just looking at it like, that's the best thing to do, though, was to just drop that beef. It wasn't that serious. Right,
and that's one of the reasons why the fans fell in love with you, too, because they loved how you were able to put that to the side to play the game. They loved that.
Yeah, it wasn't that deep at all. Like.
Right. And, with Janelle, she had ended up doing something for MTV. She did X on the Beach and everything. Did you watch that? Did you see her on there?
I didn't. I'm happy. You know what? I think I watched, I'm lying. I did. I would dead be lying, because I remember an episode where she was fighting a girl or whatever. It was a lot for me. It sort of blew my mind watching it, because I was just like, I thought she was being a little extra.
Okay, yeah. I know a lot of the fans, because I know there's a page that's always shit. It's like a troll page. They be shitting on her. It's called Janelle No Energy. And, the page Janelle No Energy always talks about, where she couldn't stand up to Tiana and Jasmine Monet, but she's on X on the Beach fighting hoes like she been about that life. And the way I kind of look at it is, humans, we change with time, and maybe that kind of helped her develop a backbone dealing with all of that. What do you think?
I agree, but I also feel like that's for some people. I don't think it's for all people.
Okay.
And I don't know. Maybe she did reach her breaking point. I don't know. The only way I would be ever be able to find out is if me and her was in the same room, because she did send for me. Like, me and her got into a little, altercation over the internet.
Yeah, I saw it on BGC11.
Yeah, and I'm not saying I'll see her to this day and press her, but I know I say some fly shit out my mouth, and I just feel like I would want to see if she still got that same type of energy.
Right.
So
right.
That's just really how I feel about it.
Right. So, and I noticed MTV is opening doors to bad girls now. They're letting them do the challenge and stuff like that. If you ever got a call to do the challenge, would you do it?
Oh my gosh, Justin, listen, first of all, I've been watching the challenge since like motherfucking before I even got on the Bad Girls Club. I've been a fan. CT, my favorite. And when I see motherfucking Angela on there,
girl, yes.
I went crazy.
Me too.
I don't under, but you know what's my thing? I feel like if you're gonna put anybody on that type of show, why not put a previous, you know, like even if they got Jen, why is she not on there?
I think it was because, you know, they usually
they had spinoffs. They had spinoffs from other shows.
Yeah, Angela did X on the Beach as well. She did the first season. And she also did season 2. So I think her doing X on the Beach is what kind of opened that door for her. And now that she did it, it opened the door for Janelle. So that's why Janelle got to do the second season. You feel what I'm saying?
I get it. But at the same time, when she's on that show, they're not describing her as X on the Beach. They're describing her as BGC11.
It's Bad Girls Club, yeah.
So my thing is if that's the case, then you just need to add on to the bandwagon, because I'm pretty sure that check for MTV is way bigger than that Oxygen Bad Girls check.
Oh, period.
So I need that call. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a whole nother network. You know, MTV's major with tweens and stuff. So
right, I'm telling you, I'm looking for a way to get in there. I really am.
Girl, be on the lookout. Let me tell you, because they actually, and see, this is the thing, I was thinking that they weren't going to go for older seasons. I thought if they were going to call anybody, you know, after seeing Angela, since she's from season 15, I was like, they're probably only going to get people from 15, 16, and 17 since they're the more recent seasons. But then when I saw Janelle pop up, I was like, okay then. And then also, and then also Christina from season 9, she actually got a call for Final Reckoning, and she didn't want to do it. So
wait, we're talking about Angela's sister?
No, Christina from season 9.
Christina!
Yes.
Mind your goddamn business, bitch?
Yes.
Oh, I love her. You serious? She declined it?
Yeah, because, you know, Final Reckoning was the season where you did a show with somebody that you had beef with on a past show, and I think they wanted her and Julie to do that, but she didn't want to do Final Reckoning.
Oh yeah, I see. I can understand why, because you don't want to. I don't want to be associated with like negativity. Like, you know, we don't got no problems, but then that's still a check too.
Well, see, that made the fans excited, because they were like, oh my God, well, if they called Tiana could have did Final Reckoning with Janelle or whatever.
Right. Maybe they think I'm problematic.
Well, no, the only thing about Final Reckoning is the twist at the end was, even if you and Janelle made it to the end, whoever had the quickest time got to choose whether or not they was going to keep the $1 million for themselves or split it with a partner.
Right.
Yeah, that would have been
split it though. That's me. I would never even did no shit like that.
Girl, that's what's up. Okay, that is what's up. Okay, then. So, do you have anything else to say to the fans after all these years, girl? Anything?
Well, what I want to say is that I appreciate those that have stuck with me after all this time, especially when I be going ghost. I thank y'all for y'all support, and Justin, you as well, for even like contacting me, hitting me up, because I know it's a lot of people who done forgot about me, but I am working on a lot within myself and even business wise to get back out there. So when I do get things in order, I would greatly appreciate you guys' support. And just keep fucking with me. Like, and for those that didn't, I hope that this interview can have you guys like looking at me in a different light, because I'm fucking dope. And you guys would love me. And Justin, again, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I really do.
Oh, no problem. Awesome. No problem, girl. They've been actually blowing me up about you, girl. They're like, get Tiana. We want to know what she's doing. Yes.
That's good.
Yes. Honestly, there is a lot of interest in season 11 nowadays, because it's been so long, and they noticed that a lot of y'all have grown, so they want me to get a hold of a lot of y'all.
Right. Have you gotten in touch with Jazz?
Girl, I DM Jazz, and I want to interview her so bad. She replied to one fan and said I want to do it, but when I DM'd her, I guess she hasn't seen it. Cause and y'all, since y'all have so many followers, it goes into y'all requests.
Yes. Because if I didn't like read my request, I would have never seen it.
Exactly.
But another thing too is I would definitely talk to her for you and send her over your information so you could situate that.
Yes, girl, and make sure you let her know no drama comes out of here because I do not play the bullshit.
Yes, I love it. You did an amazing job. I support it. Real questions. I love the way you broke it down. You got all the tea. You even brought up some shit. I was like, all right, wait, hold on. Let me think. But yeah, thank you, boo.
No problem, honey. You have a good night, baby. Thank you so much.
You too, love. Blessings.
See you later, honey.
Bye-bye.
What's good, y'all? It's your boy OC Jenkins, aka the Pencilman. I'm here chilling with my dude DJ Edge. It's about to go down. We got another one. Let's go.
Get my money fast and go fast.